Alright, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been going over the PDF that you see on the screen right here, MySQL by Examples for Beginners. And I was going to jump into section 5 right now on more SQL. And the first thing that's discussed here is select with a subquery. What a subquery is it's a query inside of a query. So I'm going to show you basically how this is done. Alright, so let me start up XAMPP. Get into the MySQL shell or console. Let's make Southwind our database. Okay, and now let's put this in here. Alright, it came back with the empty set. I'm not sure if that's right or not, but the point is, when you do a query like this, you do the outside query. Try that again. You do the inner query. That inner query, the output of the inner query, so the output of this query here inside of the parens, becomes the input for the outside query. Alright, so this is asking to show you any suppliers that are not within the group. So if I were to change that query that we just looked at, and get rid of the not and just put in the in, then notice I get everything back. And what does that mean? That means if I grab this information that's right here, that part, and I can grab it from here, so if I grab this distinct, again, what that's going to give me, you already saw it, are all three of our suppliers. Okay? Then, previously I said, show me the name from the suppliers where that ID is not in that list. Well, they're all in the list. Alright? So now when I remove the not, that just basically says, show me all the supplier names. But what this is doing is it's showing me just the distinct ones. Alright, so in other words, it's not showing me any duplicates. Now you can write subqueries to do just about anything. Okay? So notice we're saying here, you can use a subquery with other SQL statements such as insert, update, or delete. If we look at this, we've got here, select product ID from products where name is pencil 68. So it'll give you that product ID. Alright, select the supplier ID where this is Q Corp. So in other words, if I run these two queries separately, the first one gives me back 2004. Okay? And the second one gives me back 503. So in other words, that's going to put 2004 503, and it's going to do an insert based on that into my products suppliers table. Now let's check. Let's do a select star from products suppliers. And do I have anything with 2004 5003? No. So I should be able to run this query, and it should come up telling me that it's made the insert. One row affected. Now take a look at what's in here now. We have 5 rows, and if I run the query again, we now have 6. And the last one is 2004 503, which was not in here previously, and that was the result of this inner query and this inner query. Used the output from those two inner queries was used as the input to this query. All right. This is telling me to go and show me all supplier IDs, okay, that have 5003 in them. So notice it's this one and it's this one. I'm going to just try something here. Let's see. Nah, I'll just leave it. If I do that, it's going to delete those two records, because in this case QQ Corp, and that's spelled wrong as you can see, no longer supplies any items. Alright, that's about enough of that. So let's talk about dates and times. They're going to create a new database here, and actually this is a new table, and they've got patients in here, which I don't think really belongs in our Southwind. So let's come in and let's create a new database. Let's create a database. We'll call it hospital. Alright, and use hospital. If I show databases, I should now have hospital in there. And there it is. Okay, so first we want to create this patients table. We've done that, so now if I show tables, there it is, there's the patients table. Now we have to put some records into the patients table. Alright, so let's select star from patients, and there they are. Notice the next visit date on all of these is null. So we want to select star from patients where the last visit date is between, alright, it's between 2012 9/15 and the current date. Well, both of these are between 9/15. We have any here that are not. There's one that's not between. So let's see if indeed we get the two records returned. And we do. So the record that was not returned was the one on 1/20, because that's not between 9/15 and the current date. Select patients who were born in a particular year and sort by birth month. So we want here where the year of the date of birth is 2011. Okay? So date of birth, it should again just be giving me back these two. And if we're ordering them by month, 1/30 should come first, because it would come before 10/29. And you see that's indeed what we get. Alright. Select patients whose birthday is today. Well, that's not going to come back with anyone. Okay. But what I could do is I could add a new record in here. So let's just kind of garbage in a record. Insert into patients values, and we will put in here Scott JP, and I'm going to make this my birth date to be today, 2017 04 03. Okay, and we'll just leave the rest the way it is, and hopefully it'll take that okay. And I'm going to come in here with and put that in, semicolon on the end. If I've made any mistakes, I'll have to go back and fix those. course. All right, so select star from patients, and there I am. The date of birth was not set correctly, but we'll fix it. Update patients, set date of birth equal 2017-0403, where patient ID equals 1005. According to that, it fixed it, so let's see. So there I am, 2017-43. That looks good. So now we want to check and see if we have any patients who have a birthday that is today. And hopefully that's going to find me. And it does. Now if I did this tomorrow, of course, or if I had done it yesterday, it wouldn't find me. All right. List the age of patients. And you see I have no age because I was just born. 2011 makes him 5 years old, 6 on the 29th. 2011, 6 years old is already. And Tech, 25 years old, will be 26 on December 31st. There's really limited things that you're able to do with date time. You can do a little bit of math with them, but not really a whole heck of a lot. Now, we look at the last visit here, 2012-120, 2012-120, etc. So we picked the name of the last visit. All right. So list patients whose last visit was more than 60 days ago. Select patients 18 years or older. That should just select that Tech or whatever that was, because that was the only one that was greater. Shows you what I know. Select patients 18 years or younger. I'm sorry, not or older. That's or younger. That's why we were picked. And they're trying to do this here where they are setting up the next date for a visit to be 6 months after this current date for Ali. All right, and if we select star from patients, you'll notice that Ali's now got 4, 3, 4 plus 6 is 10, so 10, 3. All right. And if we do this and we come back and we say select star from patients, as we just did, set this, just set it to be 6 months later than it is right now. That should have been update, not select. That should have been update patients. So update patients. Set the next visible date. Now you'll notice that all of these will be set. Sorry, there's something printing behind me here. And there they are. And that's 6 months after today. That's why they're all 2017, 10-3. Okay. Now notice MySQL provides built-in functions. Now, which gives you the current date and the current time. CurDate, which gives you just the date, and CurTime, which gives you just the time. So if I run this query, I get the current date and the current time, or just the current date, or just the current time. As I mentioned, now there are a few different date time types. There's date time, which holds both, date, which holds just the date, time, which holds just the time, year, which holds the year in either 2-digit or 4-digit format, time stamp, which is the number of seconds since what's referred to as the Unix epoch time, January 1st, 1970. The timestamp is used a lot because it's a fast way to put in the time. I think I mentioned this already. It says there are many date time functions. I disagree with that. There are many as far as pulling off a piece of the date. But as far as what you can do with the date, as far as being able to manipulate it, there are relatively few things that you're able to do. So here we grab the current day, or the current year, the current month, the current day, the current hour, the current minute, and the current second. You'll notice if I run it again, how the seconds have changed. If I'd wait for a couple minutes, then the minute would change, the hour would change, etc. All right. We can also grab information about the current day. So notice it's Monday, April. The day of the week is 2. Sunday is 1, so Monday is 2. The day of the year, I guess that must be right, that it's 93. January had 31 days in it. February had 28, which would make 59. March had 31, which would be 90. Today's the 3rd. 90 plus 3 is 93. So there we go. You can compare dates and times. So notice they've taken this 2012, or the 31st day of 2012, and added 5 days to it. So now it's the 5th of February for 2012. You can also add months to it. You can compare two dates to find the difference between them. You can also compare timestamps. This one is kind of interesting though. So if for some reason I really wanted to know this, so let's say that I wanted to know, instead of that, I wanted to know the difference between that and today. And you notice it's negative 1,888. Well, that's the number of days that have passed. I believe I can also do this. I'm going to grab, instead of using the date like this, all right, I'm going to put in here her date. Okay, and let's see if it takes that. And it did. So, for instance, if let's assume that a person was born in 1990, I'll do my daughter. She was born in 1990, and she was born on 7/31. That would say to me she's been around here for 9,743 days. I hate to do mine because I'm between 2 and 3 times more than that. So, all right. You can do formatting for the date. And again, let's, instead of doing it like this, let's format the current date. And as you can see, Monday, 3rd April 2017. And there are a lot of different ways that you can format this stuff. All right. If I wanted to add the time as well, again, I can come in here. To me, it makes the most sense to say per date. there's the current date. And as far as I know, you can even flip these around if you want to. So in other words, I could run this same query, but put the %m first, then put the %d. So that would be April 3rd, comma, 2017. Okay? So again, there are a lot of ways that you could do this. That R there, I'm not sure what that's doing, so I'm going to run the same query and not put the R in there. I think that's going to give me the results that I'm, oops. Okay. Yeah, let's try it again and do it correctly. There you go. Monday, April 3rd, 2017. Okay, so there are a multiple number of ways that you can manipulate this. Let's grab this table that they show right here, and we'll put it in our hospital table. I don't think that'll really hurt any. So what do we have here? Describe date, time, arena. So you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different fields in here of various types. Throw a couple values into here. And do a select star. And you can see now I've got that in here. Okay. They have you do an update just to basically show you you can do all of the stuff that you would or might typically want to do. Now I can put in a bunch of information here and I can just grab the current date and time. And you saw that was the previous record, so if I put in select star again, you can see how I filled it with all of today's information. Alright, we did views already, but a view is a saved query. So if I do this, and I'm going to go back into Southwind, and I run that query, unknown column. Not unique. Well, let's grab a query that we've previously done. How about that? So you already saw this query right here. If I don't want to keep typing that, I can put in the same query and I can say create view, let's just call it D as. Now if I select star from D, I get the same information. So view is just a saved query, period. And finally, the last thing that's in here is transactions. go back to the hospital database. Yeah, that was on me. So what I copied, this is all I want to copy. Alright, so we have a new table now called accounts. Put a value, a couple of records in there. Select star from accounts. There's what we have. Alright, now we want to come in here and start a transaction. So this will be a group of different things that we want to do. Update. Update. And then do a commit, which will actually write this stuff out. So now if I select star from accounts, now previously it was 1,000 and 2,000, now it's 900 and 2,100. Because what we did was we took $100 from this account and transferred it to this account. Let's grab all of this. Alright, so you can see we did do another update. Okay, because that went, again, 100 went from here to here. But then we told it to roll back or disregard the changes, so it went back to what it was beforehand. Alright, and that's pretty much it.